The thing is, our amygdala, which is where we feel fear, like right at the center, it's like the oldest part of the brain. When that gets fired up, sometimes the firing up is not proportionate to the actual threat. Like, for example, speaking in public, like you're not gonna die, but there's all these old things like humiliation and then not belonging, and then you're going to get cast out from like the tribe, and then you're going to be alone, you're going to die. Like, there's a lot of that lingering in the amygdala. And so we got to be like, okay, hold on a second. What's the worst case scenario here? Really? Right. But it does feel like we're going to die sometimes when these fear comes up. And so I think a key word I want to throw in that I think is essential for this whole conversation and for everything you're doing, Kepo, is courage. Because courage, which is a quality that we can learn to cultivate, is not about being fearless. I don't like the word fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about like I have a relationship with myself where when I'm scared of something, I know I have to step towards it. Because I promised myself I would never, consciously at least, like kind of turn away from my fear and be like, nope, I'm gonna go the safe way. But this is commitment to one of my values, and it's getting out of your comfort zone, which is where growth lies,
Yeah, I want to make this super tangible and practical for people listening or watching if you're on YouTube. So when we've talked about many different concepts, and you've worked with a lot of people, right? When you talk about values, because you mentioned one of your values now, which is when you're afraid of something, like basically developing courage. And building your courage, right? Can you give us examples, if maybe like 3 to 5 examples of what you think, like when you say values, what are those examples? Because people are like, oh, it's very easy when we hear something over and over again, values, but it's like, oh yeah, values, or like goals. Oh, please, but like to give people more specific ideas of this is what we mean by values.
Yeah.
Can you share like 3 to 5?
Yeah. And I think, look, values are words essentially, right? But it's not just about the word. For example, like a value can be love. I'll never forget. I did my values course in a college in Australia, and the teacher also did it. Like I was like a guest speaker, and so the teacher also did it. And then his number one value on this list, after we went through a list of 250 words, and this whole process to get to like your top 5, I couldn't believe it because it was so different than mine, and I didn't actually think anyone in life would ever have that as a number one value, and it was order. Order was his number one value in life. And I was like, wow. I did it with some family. And I always remember this other guy, his number one value was perfection. But what's interesting here though, is that it's not about the word. It's about what the word means to you. The work, for example, and this course is on my website, so you can actually do it if anyone wants to do their values, right? You go through, you get your words, but then you ask yourself, and this is part of the clarity, what does this mean to me? And what does this value look like in action? Like if you have, for example, some of my top values, the thing is, like, it's funny because I'm about to redo my values because I feel like they've shifted a little bit, but my values, used to be love, spirituality, communication, right? So, and then those are again just words, but I know what they mean. Freedom is one of my top number one values.
I was gonna share my own later. Like my top value is freedom. Woo! Woo, we can riff on that one later, but yeah, go
on. Next podcast. Yeah. Just to give an example, right? Like if you're living a life against your own values, like if you're living a life where you feel trapped and one of your top values is freedom, like what's going to happen? You're not going to feel fulfilled, right? You're going to feel in misalignment. You're going to start feeling the anxiety.